500 here, 53 Khatrin Purification Plant blue team. We have Mahror as a Warlock, a melee hero can leap into combat with some powerful spells, giving him disruption, support, and offense. Alongside, Kain is a force commander, very good at offense, fights in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt, and support with buffs. Some Blood Ravens. And rounded off this team, the Tenso is a plague champion, starts off range combat with a damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, some decent utility and support, can build turrets and repair, but is very slow. This is Death Guard elite scheme. Red team then, firebat163 as a warp spider Exarch, teleporting commander that fights mainly in range combat, great for capping and harassing, some powerful control abilities too. Alongside here, Tanya Murderloli is a Lord Commissar, strong offense and support, fights in melee combat and begins with a handy refractor shield. And rounding off the teams, it's Tiberos as another force commander. Is this White Scars? Not really, doesn't have the badge. West side, what is it then? It's force commander versus Warlock, with most likely support from the central players. The victory points are relatively close together on this map, so you do see some triple cap situations. Nice special there from the Warlock, tying up those tactical marines as he should. Doesn't have a whole lot of close by support though, a little bit isolated there. Force commander is coming in, throws out his destructor and runs away. Might see Immolator Blade up if those double guardsmen keep hanging out on this west side. Howling Banshee's getting in on that force commander, always a massive threat to low-level heroes. Power weapons are good, it turns out. They're still chasing his guardsmen over here, who both have their sergeant leader up already, up to 9 models. Now we'll reinforce 2 at a time, baiting the stomp quite nicely, and gets away. Drawing him into the stomp, I should say. Commissar gets away too, not sure what it was up to. Chases some marines through here, maybe those scouts. West side is red for now. What's going on over on the east side? We've got double CSM from the Tenso. Plague champion moving up. Oh, looks like he went down, did he? Huh. Been repurchased. Has these weird, look at this, these weird these black circles on the shoulder pad there. Seems like there's meant to be something there, but there isn't. Not sure what's going on. If that's an error or if it's just meant to be like that. Doesn't seem like it should be like that. Kain with some devastators on the way. Sentinel doing some work early on. Needs some repairs though as well. West side is now deep capped. Destructor flies out. Doesn't quite hit. Gonna wait for the devs before they try to push, I think. Warlock just harassing those scouts. Gets them off the field before they can cap as well. So 1-to-1 here. Lots of Kraken rounds for these marines as they fight each other. Only dropped a model there. It's a little bit sloppy to move out of cover. No real reason to do so. Almost dropped another model too. Force Corner does run into some devastators. And Kain is keeping these guys on the field as is. Wants to keep that pressure up. Red team will take the west side though. What's this? Oh, Bile Spewer. Doing some work for the Plague Champion, getting a full power bash. Not sure if there were any generators there, but you'd think maybe there would be at this point. There's full farm on the west side. Immolator Blade is up for the Warlock. There it is. Might follow it up with the Destructor too. It looks like he's already used that. He's got no energy. He might have used Fleet or something. Got to manage your energy when you're an Eldar hero for sure. Multi-laser turret, not enough to stop the Warlock from waltzing through here. Going to eat a stomp. Trying to tie up the Devastator's got the Devastator there with the damage of a time from the Immolator Blade. Oh, but won't get away. Stayed in there a bit too long. Vengeance rounds loaded in on this heavy bolter here with advanced targeting. Gives you more range, more damage, but no suppression. And also damage vehicles and stuff. Shuriken Cannon moving up on this east side now. We're going to get a power bash or attempted power bash the other side. Heretics with their grenade launchers missing their barrage. But there is base turrets there. So he doesn't really have a way to deal with these Banshees. The Tenso. The Plague Champion went down again. Had to be repurchased. That's 500 requisition he's spent just repurchasing his hero already. It's a hell of a lot. Warp Spider teleporting in to get the heretics off the field and then maybe tie up some CSM. Oh no, he's gone ranged. Plague Champion's level 2. Does operate quite well under suppression with not losing quite as much speed and also firing at the same rate. 354 to 500. Double cap here for red team. Look at his foot. This Lord Commissar doing some work. He's got his power sword up and carapace armor. Got those devs off the field pretty sharp. It's Banshees in the back lines causing havoc. Trying to finish off the Devastators. I think they'll get them too, and they do. See, distort field up on them. That shimmering shield type thing. That's from the Warlock's global bar. Some nice grenades attempted. Couldn't quite hit them flush. A sentinel stomp just as they threw them. Really good backline play there from Mahror. Got in amongst the ranged units and really messed them up. The multi-laser turret, I believe, was scuttled or scavenged for some resources back there. Blue team take the west side. That was a good little push. Force Commander's still hanging around. Banshee's on him. Does have his battle cry though, and that causes the retreat. Tactical Marines in here need to be very careful. Doesn't want to drop a model. That would be very sloppy. I don't think he's paying attention to these guys. Just drop a model. Should have been avoided there. Maybe he was watching these scouts and his force commander as well. Plague Champion gets away with his life this time. Still doesn't really have a way to combat those Banshees. Going into tier 2 though, so we might see Chosen Plague Marines or something. But really should have got some Havocs up, I think. I guess he does have... I know he doesn't have the Doom Blast Heretics, does he? Sentinel lives. Done pretty well so far, the old Sentinel. Here's some artillery spotters from Tanya. And there's that disruptive mortar shell. There's the immolator though. Painful stuff. I believe it was adjusted so that it doesn't last quite long but does a bit more damage per second. Something like that. Not sure when that was though. East side kicking off. Banshees running riot again. I guess the Bile Spewer could stop them, but it's not always easy to hit that bilious discharge exactly how you'd like to. The Plague Champion is going to go down again. It's at least the third time I believe he's gone down. I wonder if it was Banshees every time getting on him. They're almost level 2. Aspect of Fleetness is up, which is helping them jump around stuff. Pretty sizable VP lead for Red Team as players start to get into tier 2 and get units up. Warp Spiders on the way for Mahror. Teleporting infantry with some strong piercing damage. Can frustrate melee units by mobility. Getting their aspect immediately. Assault squad up for Kain. No sign of their sergeant yet. Not sure what he's planning to spend his power on. A Razorback over here would be pretty good, I think. There's a jump. A bunch of stuff here, but they're going to get in there, that's for sure. Marines with their flamer doing some serious work. Assault squad trying to finish off the Devastators, and they do, but can they get away? There's a power sword Lord Commissar on your case. Looks like they are okay there. Or are they? Being chased with some las fire, but they do get out with 30 hit points or so. And these Marines staying in play as well. This is bad. Gonna drop models. He's been very, very sloppy with these tactical Marines so far. Oh, he's trying to reinforce them with a drop pod, is he? Oh, that's so risky. That's so risky, it doesn't pay off. I don't believe that the drop pod, which drops Marines, even reinforces you anymore. I think that was removed. I don't think you get an instant reinforcement off that drop pod anymore. So even if he did judge the timing well there, I don't think it would have worked. I think that's right. Chimera on the field for Tanya. Gonna get some nice support now. Oh, it's a Chaos Dreadnought for the Tenso. Autark is up here for firebat, which she can get her fusion gun in tier 2 now. Oh, got some fire dragons too. That could be a very short life for the Dreadnought. Bright Lance is also up. Under big threat there. Here are those Warp Spiders. They do get a very, very handy Haywire grenade with their aspect. Bad news for that Chimera. Devastators are pushed up here. which I think is the thing to do. Vengeance Round's doing some work on the Chimera as these Dire Avengers cap, and they're going to get the cap. And there it is. And I believe this drop pod will now give them an ability to reinforce around it while it's up. Dreadnought on the way for Tiberos. A loyalist Dreadnought here. Beginning with 2 close combat weapons. Could get in and mess things up, that's for sure. A revive from the Lord Commissar. Kicking off in the mid though. Oh, tactical range dropping a model. 262 to 418. Tier 3 for firebat. Wow, he's teching fast. Thunderhammer Force Commander. Been a while since I've seen one of these guys, because everyone's been getting the newly buffed Terminator Force Commander. Well, here we see the familiar sight of Artificer, Teleporter and Thunderhammer. 262 to 403. Assault Cannon is up for this Dreadnought. There's that nasty barrage. Doesn't quite hit anything. Red team should be able to get this VP though. Oh, look at this. Firebat coming over. Might be able to get that Warlock too. If the Autarch can jump ahead. Lord Commissar's there. Can't quite get an attack though. And the Warlock lives at level 3. Here's that Death Guard Chaos Dreadnought looking pretty cool. And taking some shots with the autocannon. 262 to 383 on the VPs. Marco Zinch all the way for this double CSM then. With their aspiring champions, they're going to be pumping out a massive amount of Inferno PvP damage. Look at that on the Fire Dragons. Fire Dragons are heavy infantry, so they were taking extra damage from those shots, and you saw them get torn through there. Assault Squad doing some work. Kind of caught out of position here, Firebat, as he tried to transition to the mid. Might get the VP decapped as well. I think those CSM should have continued pushing through, decapping and bashing there. But he's coming back. He's doing the safer thing and coming back to the west side. Is that a las cannon I hear? It is. Las cannon over here. Very powerful anti-vehicle weapon. Well, anti-large target, really. Snares on hit and does a big chunk of damage too. CSM getting caught by the Dreadnought in its barrage there, I think. These guys looking for a grenade. Or are they? Yes, there it is. Nicely done. Gets the CSM off the field, at least. This Dreadnought is still way out there, but isn't really threatened by a whole lot, this Chaos Dreadnought. The Space Marine Dreadnought is. And there's that Force Commander doing some work with the hammer. Who needs Terminator armor when you have this thing? Tiberos, on the other hand. Oh, he's doing the same thing, pretty much. But he's going for the Sacred Standard instead. Red team pushed off. That's a haywire on a Dreadnought. Might facilitate a kill. This thing's still chasing this Dreadnought here, this Chaos one. 250 to 351. So almost 100 VPs in it. Look at this though. What is this? Autarch on capping duty. Stealing the blue team's natural. Went up a little bit far here, maybe. Trying to chase that Dreadnought. Didn't get it either. I know they're kind of caught moving forward at a bad time, but they do get away. Dreadnought also stomps out. Kain and the Tenso going tier 3. In fact, it's only Tiberos who's still in tier 2. Tiberos. 2-1 cap. Starting to chip away at those 100 VP lead of the red team now. Banshee's getting shot up. And they should be able to get through here, these CSM. Maybe even get to the power, but that'll be a relatively risky bash. Because the base is pretty close, as you can see. One little fleet from the Banshees and they'll be right on you. These ladies with aspects of strength on this side. Double Fire Dragons for Mahror. Wanting to get rid of this Chimera and this Dreadnought already. There's that Force Commander. Is going to get a revive. Don't get as much XP these days from reviving, but does get him pretty close to level 3. Fire Prism for Firebat. Bad news for those double CSM. Bunker put in. Looks like it's going to be a repair bunker from the look of the chat there. Great thing to put up at a good time as well. With those Fire Dragons sitting in the field. Another revive from this Force Commander. Now he hits level 3 and gets the las cannon off out of there. Smack. Lost the indicator for this guy, but it's up over 1100 hit points to level 3 with Artificer. Not sure why he's still chasing though. Uh-oh. Chased way too far and goes down. Now he's going to have a tough time getting revived, and he's wasting his standard and everything. Misplay there from Tiberos. Not sure if his attention was elsewhere, maybe on his dreadnought over there. Oh, Leman Russ on the field for Tanya. 220 to 328. Blue team pushing through. Fire Dragons doing their thing. Don't think they're going to save this dreadnought here. Haywire grenade. We got Banshees with their heavy melee spear as well. They're trying to save it. Leman Russ getting a big shot there, but the dreadnought does go down, and now a full retreat from Mahror. Did not want to try and keep those things in play and drop models, which is usually the best thing for Eldar. Get in, do your damage, get the hell out. If you can't get out safely, retreat. Because they'll drop models faster than these Marines will late game. Blue team trying to take this with VP. Stone Guard veterans on the case. They're going to get it, and they do. Kain now backing his guys off, or at least trying to. Last Cannon's going to get forced off the field. And the red team should be able to get through and get the VP back pretty easily there. Still seems very close and tight on that west side though. Meanwhile, east side, we've got a pretty powerful and varied army for Firebat. Double Die Avengers, Banshee, Shuriken Cannon, or sorry, a Bright Lance weapon team. We've got Autark, Fire Dragons, and a Fire Prism. Not to mention, of course, the hero himself, who's pretty damn useful. Got his anti-grav grenade. Dreadnought needs to be so careful here. Look at the range of the Fire Prism. Boom. Using its focus beam. It's also got a dispersed beam which will disrupt very nicely. But against large targets like vehicles, you want to use your focus shot. Wow, big chunks coming off this dreadnought here. You might be able to chase it into base. Bright Lance there also. Oh, Chaos Predator now. Now tanks generally are a decent thing to get against a Fire Prism, because if you get the dedicated anti-vehicle upgrade, in this case the Marco Zinch, they can take it down pretty easily. It's only got 500 hit points of Fire Prism. It does have massive range, but it's not always easy to keep it at maximum range. This might go down with the Haywire. It does go down. Nicely done by Mahror. Taking out the two vehicles that he wanted to. Double cap now for red. Looks like Tanya not happy with the Fire Dragon performance here. And maybe you shouldn't get another vehicle, buddy. Get some Kasrkin up with plasma guns. They will melt those Fire Dragons. Get a heavy weapon squad as well. 144 to 313. Contested power here, completely populated by the red team. Looks like the Chaos Predator took some damage. Did he take the Fire Prism out? I don't see a wreckage anymore, but I also don't see it on Firebat's roster. I don't think it was on his roster though. I think it was off. But I don't see it anywhere. I think he did chase down that Fire Prism and took it out. Well done. Vehicles dropping for red team then. Tanya did get another Leman Russ up. The bunker was also taken out. But red team continued to push relatively well here. Have to deal with this force commander, but they should be able to do that. We've got some guardsmen with upgrades. Oh, there's that Inspiring Courage, doubling the damage of those guardsmen there. Did it to the squad that had plasma guns, obviously. Terminators in the field also for Tiberos. Firebat's floating tons of resources. Is he waiting for an avatar? I think he might be. Saving up for that guy. Oh, he doesn't have the... I don't think he has the population for an avatar anymore. He's gone for Seer Council, that's why. 137292 on the VPs. A decent lead for red, but can they keep this lead going? Gonna take the west side for another 2-1. Looks like they can for now. Oh, maybe even a double briefly. As those guys get their natural back. It is going to be a brief double. Vanguard veterans. Here for Kain. Don't want to fight Banshees particularly. jumping away now. They'll be okay. Unless they don't move. Plague Champion also survives. His Dreadnought is still around. Done pretty well. Up to level 2. So they do defend their VP. And firebat is off the field with a lot of his stuff. Red team are looking strong. West side still. Look at this. That force commander's still down over here. What are these scouts up to? Just scouting, I guess. Doing their thing. These guys retreating off. I don't think that was required, but they can stop that retreat. Oh, Eldritch. Ouch. That's from firebats on the Tenso stuff. Doesn't quite wipe the unit. The Eldritch Storm was nerfed in the last update. Those first few bolts of lightning, which used to do massive amounts of damage, were toned down. And as you saw, those Marines survived. They would not have survived in the previous version. Definitely not. Triple Fire Dragons for Mahror. Blue team will take the west side. 73 to 292. Marco Zinch now for this Dreadnought. He's already level 2. Leman Russ with Vanquisher. Whoops, that has done a great job too. Leman Russ just keeping the hell away from those fire dragons. Look at that. Couldn't even see the Lord Commissar there because of the amount of shots going in on him. Guardsman got melted as well. Ortuk jumping in on the fire dragons. Almost finished off this squad here. But they survive. Big fight over the central area here. Anti-grav grenade doing its thing. No team backing down yet. They're all going in on this fight. Warlock is off the field. This force commander is still going. Might want to be a bit more careful because he's got that sacred standard. Doesn't want to lose that buff. Not sure what this Dreadnought is doing. Got way too close to the Leman Russ. Now taking some unnecessary shots, I think, but he does survive. Noxious Cloud from Tenso now. Right Lance sets up again. Big running firefight. Oh, Noxious Cloud doing some work on his Marines. He's not splitting them, and they're both forced off. See, Council getting in on the Dreadnought. They have power weapons, but still will do some damage to the Dreadnought, that's for sure. But can they stay in long enough? They can't. Awesome fight there. Blue team come out with a 2-to-1. And big rosters of stuff. Land Raider Redeemer on the field for Kain. With some Terminators too. That's a massive help for the blue team. Can now retreat back to that Land Raider and stay in the field way longer. It's a big deal, especially for the Eldar, I think. There's the anti-grav grenade again. Awesome piece of war gear, I think. How long it messed those guys up for. You can't retreat out of it because they're in midair. The Stone Guard veterans standing there way too long, and they do get out. Blue team pushing on red team's natural here. They're not content with the 2-to-1 cap. I guess when you're down to 73 VPs, maybe it's a good idea to not be content with that. Oh, Webway in behind the Leman Russ. Beautiful move from Mahror. Takes it down in seconds. Awesome move. Did he really not see it as it was being built? Because as these things are forming, they do not have infiltration. So obviously red team not paying attention to their surroundings there. Now he's seen the web where he can take it down. But he should have seen it as it was being constructed. I guess he was busy fighting. Double cap now for blue. Looking pretty strong, to be honest. That Leman Russ, the Land Raider is going to make massive difference. I guess these Vanguard veterans are going to defend this VP? No? Why did they jump for? Maybe they thought something was there. There's a Noble Shrine up too. Not being worshipped, but it still gives you a heal every few seconds or so. There it is. I believe it's a 7% heal or something like that, which is pretty good, especially when it's been worshipped and is healing pretty often. Also allows you to reinforce when it's being worshipped. 73 to 138. Can the red team push back here? It's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough to push against what the red team have. There's a Basilisk Flare to set up this push. Dreadnought might go down at least here. Being tied up and being shot up. Down it goes. Did not even attempt to move it off there. Predator tank on the way for Tiberos. A late plasma cannon for Kain. Mahror going tier 3 finally. Got tons of power. Seer Council getting through for firebat. A decent attempt at a push from the red team, you've got to say. But with the land raider there, it's going to be so tough. It's going to be so tough. Selecting targets well in big fights like this is not easy. Haywire there on the Predator tank, but I don't think anything's around to finish it off. Plasma Guardsman and Khatrin trying to do some work. There's a Predator tank now. Triple Fire Dragons in on these Terminators, and look at the melt. That's crazy. Down they go. Dealt with. What level are those guys now? A couple of level 3s and a level 1. That was awesome to see. Cyclone missile launcher doing its thing. And down goes that tank. They've not had a good time preserving their vehicles, the red team, with triple fire dragons around, not to mention everything else. And it's looking good for blue. 73 to 77, but they got a 2-to-1 cap. They've won a bunch of engagements in a row, have powerful armies. Baneblade on the way for Tanya, but I don't think another vehicle is the answer here. As soon as you saw those fire dragons, the red team should have been looking at countering them pretty hard with suppression and plasma if they could. And power melee, of course, is pretty useful. Baneblade, I think, will hit the field, but I'm thinking too little too late. This Plague Champion getting very close. Oh, Black Grenades. Gets them off the field. Didn't quite hit, but retreated them all. They can now come back in with their Commissar executions and such, but the Khatrin can't. Still holding on to this 2-to-1. Doesn't look like they want to commit to going after the natural victory point. Nice anti-grav. Oh, Eldar might be committing to it. Here we go. There's terrifying fire dragons doing their thing, and they are going for a decap. But it doesn't last. As you can see, if you focus fire those fire dragons, they're going to drop models. They are going to drop models pretty quickly. It's hard to do. It's hard to do in these big fights. They move faster right on you. Oh, that would have been a fantastic Demolisher Cannon shot if those guys didn't retreat when they did. You might have seen a lot of dead fire dragons then. Double Tax getting caught in a bunch and have to retreat out. Blue team have the win here with the double, and they have it. Red team valiantly fighting to the end and doing a good job, putting up a good fight. So look at these heroes end game. Level 5 Warp Spider had a lot of success early on this east side. Maybe he should have kept the pressure up on these generators over here. We had a level 6 Lord Commissar, was fully kitted out with Power Sword, Carapace, and something else I forget. Force Commander level 5 here. Hammer, Artificer, and Sacred Standard for Tiberos. The Tenso with Fetid, Black Grenades, and Bile Spewer. Kain, of course, we saw with the Teleporter and Hammer. And a level 7 Warlock, Providence, Warp Throw, Immolator. Did some massive work with these triple fire dragons. They didn't even use Enhance and that kind of thing as well. So they could have been even scarier. But there have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.